Hi, I'm Blake. Today, we're going to be doing a walk around on the Fendt 200 series. Specifically, I have a 211F behind us. This is part of the specialty series that we have from Fendt. The Fendt specialty series, we have three variations. We have the V, the F, and the P. So you may see a 200V, you may see a 200F, and you may see a 200P. The difference between those is going to be what width of a machine do you need, right? How small do you need it to be to go down those rows? We have anything from 47.7 inches up to 67 inches in overall width as far as for you picking your row sizing. Now the horsepower range is going to go from 91 up to 124 max horsepower with DP. The Fendt 211, you're going to have a 209, a 210, and a 211. The 211 model is going to have that dynamic performance to give you that increased horsepower. Under the hood of the Fendt 200 series is going to be a 3.3 liter engine that features our Fendt ID. Fendt ID is going to allow us to have that lower engine speed and higher torque. With a lower engine speed, it's going to reduce that operator noise that you're going to experience in the cab. It's also going to save fuel, and it's going to increase that engine longevity because those pistons are making less cycles inside that engine. Optionally, you can get a reversing fan on this series. So if you're getting a bunch of leaves or branches or stuff like that that's falling down on your machine, you can use that reversing cooling fan to blow that stuff back off of the radiator. Now inside the cab is how we control that, so you can use that in an automatic or a manual state. In a manual mode, you just hit the button and it will blow that reversing fan in reverse and clean that stuff off the front of the grill. If you have it in an automatic state, you can set a time period. So maybe you want it to reverse every 15 minutes or up to every 2 hours, something like that. Really depends on what you're doing at that specific time, but that's how you would set that. One other thing I wanted to point out was the exhaust on these. The exhaust in this case is going to be a vertical exhaust, but you can also get a down exhaust if this is going to be hitting limbs and branches in your operation. Like all other Fendt tractors that we have, the 200 series is also going to have our Fendt CVT. These tractors are going to go from 65 feet an hour up to 25 miles an hour. There's not going to be any ranges or any gears or anything like that that the operator is going to have to shift. Simply, you're going to tell that tractor at what speed you want to go, and it's going to set the engine and transmission ratios there to get you at that speed based on whatever you're pulling. Now, when we look at the cab, it's going to come in three line variations. You're going to have Power, Profi, and Profi Plus. If you've ever looked at a machine and you wondered, have a general idea how it's equipped, look at the badging that's going to be on that left-hand door. In this case, it's going to be a Profi Plus machine. Now, the difference between those, if you need a tractor that's just going to go up and down rows, you don't need any isobus, you don't need any guidance or auto steer. If you don't need anything like that, a power version is going to work great for you. Maybe you want isobus, or maybe you want another terminal in the cab, something like that, then you want to step up to that Profi model. And if you want auto guide, if you want to be able to ride down those same rows year after year, you're going to want a Profi Plus version. Now that Profi Plus version is going to come in base with the steering valves and Fendt guide built into that machine, and then when you order it, you just select which receiver you would like to put on it. Now when we're talking about hydraulics on the back of this 211F, a couple things that I'd like to point out. Just like the larger tractors in our Fendt series, you still are going to have separate implement and transmission hydraulic reservoirs. Now what does that mean? If dirty couplers get plugged in the back, or in the event that you're running a hydraulic motor and it starts sending metal back into the tractor, that contamination is going to stay isolated just in the implement hydraulic section. It's not going to contaminate the transmission, and it's not going to contaminate that rear end. Now something else I'd like to mention is you are going to have two different pump options. So you can have a 19.8 gallon a minute open center pump, or you can have a 31.4 gallon a minute closed center pump. If you're going to run something in continuous flow, you're going to be running hydraulic motors like that, the closed center pump is going to be the option that you're going to want. When you're looking at valves, you can have a max of 4 rear valves and then a max of up to 7 mid-mount valves. Now those mid-mount valves can be located either on the left or the right-hand side of that machine. Additionally, on the rear of the machine, let's talk about the 3-point. The 3-point is going to be a Cat 2 style with hook ends. Those hook ends are going to function as a built-in quick hitch, right? So you don't have that quick hitch that's in your way if you need to get to something on the rear of that machine. Something really unique about the 3-point on these machines is you can get it to where it actually tilts. So if you're going on some uneven terrain and you want to tilt that implement, so that you're trimming your branches evenly. You can actually tilt this whole 3-point assembly kind of left or right. As far as the PTO on the rear is going to be a 540, 540E, and 1,000 RPM, and that is going to be in base. So the difference between a 540 and a 540E is what engine RPM that PTO is going to run at. So for instance, if you're running something that's going to be a heavier load on that tractor, you want to run it in your standard 540, it's going to run a little bit higher engine RPM. If you're going to run something that's really no load at all on that engine, or just a light load in general, you can run that in economy and it will achieve that 540 PTO RPM at a reduced engine speed so that you're saving fuel. Additionally, on the rear of the tractor, this tractor is equipped with pneumatic brakes, so that's going to feature your glide hands on the rear. If you had a trailer you needed to pull or something like that used glide hands, you do have that option available to you. Additionally, something I like to use it for is if you have something you need to blow out, or a tire you need to air up, something like that, you could plug the air hose in to the rear of that machine, blow off whatever you're trying to blow off, or air up a tire, or whatever you're trying to do. One other thing I'd like to point out is going to be the fender controls. So the fender controls, you can raise or lower the 3-point from the fender, so it really helps in hooking something up. You don't have to have somebody else in the cab, or you don't have to be getting in and out of that cab trying to hook whatever up you're trying to do. And then you're also going to have a PTO button here. That PTO button is going to allow you to start and stop that PTO from the fender without getting in and out of that cab. To take that one step further, if you had TMS set, you could actually set a certain RPM that when you engage that, it'll engage PTO, rev up to that RPM, and then go ahead and rev back down when you turn it back off. Really a handy feature that saves you from getting in and out of that cab all the time. Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at the front of the machine. Looking at the front of the tractor, this one is equipped with a front 3-point as well as a front PTO. The front PTO, if you get that, is going to be a 1,000 RPM shaft, and the front 3-point is optional. It is going to be a Cat 1 3-point, and the setup it has right here, this is just in a shipping configuration, but your 3-point arms, or you could have a front ballast weight on there, whichever you're trying to do. So those valves that we showed you that are in the middle of the tractor, if you're running something here on the front that's got a hydraulic motor and you want to run those hoses up to it, these holders are great for keeping those hoses nice and organized. They're not going to be rubbing on the side of your hood or getting lost or caught on branches. Additionally, at the front is going to be our front axle suspension. Just like the larger tractors that have front axle suspension, the Fendt 200 series can be optionally equipped with front axle suspension as well. That front axle suspension is going to give you that nice smooth ride both in the field and on the road. As with all of our tractors, the Fendt 200 series is no exception, and that it still comes with Gold Star customer care. Gold Star customer care is going to include all your scheduled routine maintenance for 3 years or 3,000 hours, whichever comes first, and it's also going to include a 48-hour loaner guarantee. If that machine goes down for more than 48 hours for any reason, you're guaranteed a loaner. It really allows you to fix your cost over a certain period of time. You know exactly what that machine's going to cost you, and you know you're always going to be able to run. Thank you for taking the time to walk around the Fendt 200 series with us today. I hope you learned something. If you have any more questions, please visit your local dealer. You can find us at Fendt.com. If you're not sure who your local dealer is, we have a dealer locator on the website. You can type in your zip code and find that. Thank you again, and we look forward to the opportunity to be able to help serve you and your operation going forward.